Hey everybody, it is TexAgs Rewind here in 2024. What is today? January 8th, 2024, Nick?
Yeah, January 8th. It's been like 10 years since you've been hosting, but we're happy to have you back.
Sorry for taking a week off.
Yeah,
I apologize
how dare you.
for that after working, 7-day weeks for 4 months. Sorry, I apologize for that. Anywho, what do we have? Why did I say it like that? God, I would fire me for that, Nick. What did we have on the show today?
Well, we had OB, of course.
We did?
Big get, yeah, had OB. Had Tom Hart of the SEC Network. Love him on the show. Liucci, of course, came in, talked about all the 50,000 transfer portal additions, and Buzz Williams calling in, talking a little LSU game, then looking ahead to Auburn.
Yeah, I was going to go through the schedule, but I decided against it during the show. We may do it tomorrow. That short-term schedule for A&M could set them back big time. They better figure out their mojo here when they go to Auburn. All right, it's that. I don't know why I'm all over the place. Check out the rewind for me, please. National championship game. Before the season started, I picked Michigan to win it all. Okay?
Okay.
I'm going with Washington now, even though my gut tells me Michigan's going to win. So this is going to sound like a half answer, and I don't mean it that way. Obviously, Michigan has the tougher defense. They're undefeated. So is Washington, but I think they had the tougher schedule than Washington. I just think Michigan's a better team. But I ride with quarterbacks that play at an extreme level. Everything Michael Penix has had to do this year, and even last year, this guy rises to the occasion. If he played in the SEC, he'd be your Heisman Trophy winner. Jaden Daniels was amazing. He deserved it. I would have voted for him. You voted for him. But what I'm watching from him in the playoffs, what I've seen from him this year, that guy rises to the top. And for Richard Zane's sake, I'd like to see Michigan win. But it's hard for me to go against a quarterback playing at that level. And I think that, and also Kalen DeBoer, it's just all he does is win.
Washington's been a very exciting team. I can see why a lot of people are high on them. I'm going with Michigan. I think Michigan is better in the offensive and defensive lines. I think Michigan's going to control the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to be able to run. I think Texas could have beaten Washington if they had just run the football.
Yeah.
So I think
and Michigan will.
Yeah, I think Michigan's going to run the football. I think Blake Corum's going to have a big game, and I think that Michigan pass rush is going to be effective, even though Washington's one of the better pass protection teams in the country. And I think Penix is going to make plays. I do, but I don't see him scoring in the mid-30s against Michigan.
So Washington has got a worse defense than Alabama. We'd agree, right?
Yeah,
and they threw for like 220 on Bama. So my thing about Washington, for Washington to win, I think they have to set a tempo early. That it is a weird thing. I don't like what it means, but when it helps me, I'm like, okay, I'm all right with it.
Yeah, that's the most fan thing I've ever heard you say, ever. And I'll give you a quick example. I was back in Columbia, Missouri when they were playing in the Cotton Bowl and went out to watch the game with some buddies. And these guys are fans, but they're just fans, right? I mean, they don't have stake in it. They don't, besides maybe season tickets or whatever, but they don't know the industry, really. They just know what happens underneath it. And I think they're very average in that respect. And I said, at what point does NIL turn you off? Meaning, if Luther Burden, for example, how much would he have to make for you to be turned off by his income? And this guy looked at me and goes, are you kidding? Dude got us to the Cotton Bowl. We beat Ohio State. I don't care. Give him everything. Give him $5 million. Fans, and it's easy to see how we've gotten to this point, they just want to see the results. They just want to see the W's. And you can piece it together by saying, okay, we've got a better recruiting class. Hey, Elko's getting it done in the portal era. My concern, bigger picture, is, I'd say basketball especially, you see this. I had a kid a couple of weeks ago who was at his 5th different school in 5 years. And I just wonder what value they're getting out of the sport besides the immediate, sometimes literal pay. Like what relationships are you building? What foundation are you building? What are you learning? What are you being taught outside of X's and O's by somebody who wants what's best for you? Or is it always best to move? I mean, people these days change jobs more often than our parents did. I get that. So I think there's a fine line. Now, as far as guys coming from smaller schools, there's a lot of coaches out there. I've got A&M and Auburn tomorrow night, and I was just talking with Bruce Pearl about this. He's like, listen, I want the guy from the lower level school who was maybe missed on and now deserves to be at this level versus the guy who's moving sideways or coming down to my program.
I expected a lot. This is more than I expected in terms of adding guys this quickly to this number. I think I said before the weekend I thought they could get as many as 10 or 12. And then I was sitting there while on air going, wait, that just sounds like, when I say that out loud, it sounds like so much. And, you know, it's been pretty accurate. And I think they're going to go up from here. I mean, I obviously eventually it's going to stop, and you do need to save a couple spots perhaps for the spring portal window too.
Yep.
That one's a little different because you'll have guys leave. This is now almost like college baseball where so many guys come in and then everybody's going to see how the competition plays out in spring, and then it's not just at A&M, it's everywhere. There were a lot of guys, some big-name guys that were really close to going in the portal from other schools. I always bring up the example from last year. Malik Neighbors was one of them. Jade Barron at Texas was one of them. I remember, you know, even the Longhorn fan sites had kind of mentioned, a couple of them I saw mentioned him, and I was like, okay, that kind of confirms what I'm hearing. He stayed, played, had a good year for the Horns. Same, obviously, Malik Neighbors had an incredible year, but he was close. Hell, you know, Antonio Johnson was close to going to Bama the year before his final year here. Teams were coming hard after Anais Smith both years. Teams were making every player on this A&M roster, from Shamar Turner, who's the, you know, NFL draft pick lock that's probably coming back, hopefully. I mean, he's still, until he announces, but I mean, signs are in a good direction there. I feel good about it. But like, from arguably your best player in Shamar Turner, certainly one of your couple best, all the way to Marcel Reed, true freshman that's played in one game. They're getting NIL offers from other schools, right and left and all the way in between. So,
yeah, everything you said, Liucci, is spot on. Was very disappointed in Saturday. And I don't know that there's one specific category. The first category would be we didn't play hard enough. We didn't play to our identity. We weren't who we have to be in order to have a chance. For sure, disappointed in the result, but more disappointed in the energy that we lacked from start to finish on both sides of the ball. Not talking about missing shots, not excuses or justifying the loss. More talking about all of the effort, all of the energy, all of the stories, all of the work, not only from this season, but with a lot of returning players with experience. Our lack of juice, so to say, for conference game number one. And so, without explaining all of it, our itinerary that was planned for yesterday was dramatically different. I think before you talk about playing arguably the best team in the league, a top 10 team for sure overall, I think we have to try to figure out what was our problem. Mm-hmm. I don't think we can give energy and emotion and time to an opponent when we have something that's infecting us that we have to try to heal / cure as soon as possible. And so yesterday we spent all of our time trying to figure those things out. I think we made some headway. I think as disappointing as it was, before we try to figure out how are we going to give ourselves a chance to win at Auburn, we got to try to diagnose what was wrong on Saturday.
All right, Nicholas, please tell the people what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow TexAgs Twitter, TexAgs Radio Twitter, Instagrams, all that good stuff. Subscribe to TexAgs and keep watching our YouTube videos.
Yeah, we need to get that number to 4. I thought by now we'd be at 14,000.
We're close.
But we're not there. What's wrong with you people? I love you all, but subscribe if you're watching. And if you're from another fan base, as long as you're not rude, subscribe. If you're rude, subscribe and I'll ban you. That's how it works. Thanks for watching.